Hey everybody, welcome to Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willy. I'm Wade.
Willy.
This is a podcast about paranormal and contemporary mythology. Join us on our Patreon, patreon.com/reallifesci-fi, or you can go to RealLifeScifi.show for links to all of our stuff. All right, let's welcome aboard the SSRLSF. It's our good friend, Timothy Pizza.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how about that Mario movie?
Oh, yeah, I saw a preview.
You got a last name, Pizza,
Oh, yeah.
so seems like
Pizza.
you'd be into Mario.
It feels it feels hella racist to me. There was like, it's a me, Mario. Like if I did that to any other kind of people, I feel like
But the
I'd get
guy
in
was
trouble.
already doing that. That's not Chris Pratt. It's the other guy that started it.
No, actually, he's not saying it's a me. He's saying it's Sumi, which is which stands for super in Japanese. So he's just saying Super
Sumi.
Mario.
Yeah, he's just saying his name.
Yeah, he's just saying his name. I thought I was just trying to cause trouble.
Yeah, you're trying to stir up some shit with Chris Pratt. Everyone loves him. He goes to a church that's totally cool. They love gays. They don't love gays. How you been, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been good. I've just been hot. Taking a break from music, but building ukuleles. So that's fun.
You're building ukuleles?
I actually don't. I have part of one, but
do you like woodwork, or do you just buy all of the things that a ukulele is and assemble it?
I started that way. Now I like bend the wood on a hot pipe and stuff.
On a what?
On a side bender. It's like an aluminum pipe that heats up to like 500 degrees.
Side bender is actually my favorite transformer.
That should have been one.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah. Cool. Where are you? You're up north. San Francisco?
Oakland.
Ah, the redheaded stepchild.
When people say same thing, does that make you mad? Same thing.
It's not even close. Like,
is it not? Oakland, I don't actually know.
It's like saying Beverly Hills is East LA.
But LA is LA though. Those are two different municipalities.
Yeah, we got a bridge between us.
But it's only that far, like 10 miles? 12 miles? So it's like saying Loveland is Fort Collins.
I've been stuck in rush hour on that bridge, on one of those bridges, and it was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
Just waiting for an earthquake, looking around in the dark. Shit, man.
I have nightmares about driving my car off the side of it, which is totally impossible. But I've had many nightmares about driving the car off the side of it.
That would be impressive if you could actually drive a car off of one of those bridges. This is impossible, right? Isn't there like reinforced concrete, like 3 fucking layers of it before you can...
there's all sorts of shit. I think one of them has got a net.
That's why you got to jump.
Yeah.
A net is very funny. I feel like I would just go jump off of it to land in the net. You know?
Who's a net?
I thought you said that one had a net.
No, I was just fucking with you.
Oh,
like
fuck.
like a net, like a net. That's a name. A net.
Oh wait, so one does have a net?
Yeah. Totally.
I know what you're saying. It's like Annette Funicello. I get it. I'm not playing. I'm not playing around.
I know.
Does one have a net or not?
Golden Gate does on the suicide side.
It does?
Yeah.
I was there. I didn't see it. That's cool, man.
I think it's just at the edges. I don't think it's out in the middle.
Oh. Okay. You've been on the show a bunch of times. We do something here called the WOW scale. WOW scale.
Are you a Wade or are you a Willy?
WOW scale stands for Wade or Willy. At the end of the quiz, I will give you a score anywhere between 0 and 5. If you're more of a 5, you're more of a Willy. If you're more of a 0, you're more of a Wade. Are you ready to be weighed on the WOW scale? You said yes. First question. It's a 3-parter. Do you believe in aliens? If so, have they visited Earth? If so, have they visited Earth in the last 300 years?
Yes, I do believe in all those things.
Yeah, of course. Ghosts?
But I don't care.
Oh, you don't care. Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. They can get Ghosts.
I'm with you. I'm kind of with you.
Ghosts, yes, but they're also like a non-issue. I mean, the most they might do is scare the shit out of you, but like they're not gonna.
So here's the thing: we were just talking about the afterlife on the pre-show. If you don't have access to it, go to patreon.com/reallifesci-fi, get access to it. If you believe in an afterlife, can you believe in ghosts?
I know I've like seen weird shit that could only be explained by ghosts, maybe once or twice.
Yeah, do say that quick story again about the mail.
Oh yeah, there was a dude that died in the apartment that I lived in before I moved into this place with my wife. And as I was going, I found over the years that I lived there, I kept getting mails from this dude named Roland. And I just put them in a box. And right before I left, I had them all in a box, and I was like deciding whether or not I should take these to the mailbox or just be lazy and like burn them in the barbecue and act like I never got them.
It's pretty extreme. You could just throw them away.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't want the proof, you know. Because you're not supposed. Yeah, you're not supposed.
But it got sent to your. I know that it's like fucking whatever, but like I toss that shit all the time. Okay.
I like burning stuff, but
sure, who doesn't?
So I used to have to smoke in the bathroom because if I smoked on the deck, there's like a courtyard below with kids down there. So I was smoking a cigarette on the edge of the bathtub. And I had the windows open, front door open, and that's like right by the thing. And I lean over and look at the drain in the bathtub for some reason. And then I come back, and all the pictures from the hallway are sitting at my feet. All the framed pictures on the wall, there was 3 of them. They were just at my feet within like as long as it took for me to go like that to that. I mean, I wasn't on anything. I mean, I could have like had a weird episode and blacked out and put them there, but I don't think so.
I don't think I realized how immediate it was.
Yeah, it was just like within, maybe a second and a half. And,
that's nuts.
So I decided to write the letter to the person that I've been writing the guy. And I found out from like another tenant there that the guy was basically suffocating in sleep because he was overweight, which is really sad.
Oh, like sleep apnea? He just like fucking...
Yeah. And then I made up some other cooler way of dying and wrote the girl back. Like, yeah, he died.
Bro, what girl? What girl back?
Some girl had been writing him letters. Like, what happened to you? Where are you? I'm worried about you. And I didn't open any of the letters until the day before I moved out of the apartment. And then,
how did you find out that he died?
I talked to my neighbor.
It took you moving out to talk to your neighbor?
Yeah, because I finally opened his mail.
What did you say was the what fake death did you make up for this man?
What's the one that like it's like a cold but really bad and you die? I want to say aluminum. Yeah, I want to say aluminum, but I know that's wrong. Yeah, ammonia. Yeah, I said it was ammonia. Aluminum. It was aluminum.
Well, but aluminum. You could have said he died peacefully in his sleep.
I don't know why. I don't know why
to die.
I don't know why I do things. Sometimes it's already done, and then I just got to deal with it.
All right, question number 3: Bigfoot?
No, those guys are idiots.
Question number 4. All right.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
You just lied to a mourning friend about how someone who she seemed pretty close to had died.
Did you book me as Timothy Pizza, the good person, on the show? Or something?
Oh, are you admitting
did we ever establish that I was a good guy?
Hey, listen, I will let that to the listeners. They can make their own conclusions. Number 4, do you believe in psychics?
No.
All right, last question. Do you believe in the simulation theory that we exist in a simulation?
Dumb. Even if it is true, dumb. Like, what's it like? What am I gonna do? Like, matrix myself out of here with a weird router? No. Like,
I think it's about what you would do. I think it's more about like. So here's the thing. I'm not offended that you called it dumb. First of all, I do sort of believe in it, but I believe in like my own like weird shit, and it helps me rationalize things. It's like, oh well. We're in a simulation, so it'll work out. The guy who's playing me or whatever, I don't actually believe that, but like he'll put in more quarters. I'll survive. He's not going to end the game here.
I would velociraptor the walls, like look for weaknesses, check for proof of code,
like an invisible wall that you could get stuck in.
Yeah,
I mean, my only not my only argument, but my main argument against the simulation is like, why would they make it in a fucking solar system that makes no sense? Like we live in a sneeze. Like why would they do it that way? That's so complicated.
Like picture a video game that you're playing, like let's say you're playing Red Dead Redemption. Like there's got to be a telescope in that game.
True. The universe is so nonsensical in my mind that it's like the simulation theory is just totally out.
You're hard to judge because I know that you're more than this, but you're basically like a 2.5. But like you're not. You're like this is a flawed scale. But you got a 2.5.
How do you feel about the news alien stuff?
I haven't been paying attention to it. Willie, you go ahead.
I definitely believe in a lot of the things they're saying. I think it's just presented in such a way that it is a look over here for something else. Because the timing is just not.
It's too perfect.
It's not right.
What's it like to live your life without trust? You don't trust anybody. Who do you trust? Do you trust me?
Yeah. You're lay it down, tell people how it is kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's such a backhanded compliment.
Well, no, it's not though. It's the defense is like you don't need to sugarcoat anything for people. So people who get offended are used to having things sugarcoated. And it's easy to just get offended because like, well, they didn't say that in a nice way. I'm like, why should people have to fucking do that?
I'm kind of wondering like, what is the most insane thing that I could say to you that you wouldn't believe? Like if I came to you, this is for both of you, by the way, because I don't have as much of a relationship with you, Timothy. If I said I was in ET, like if I had an ET, would you believe me?
I believe that you believe that, and probably talk to Willy and see if we needed to like get you help.
I would probably believe you. I mean, I here's the thing. It's funny when you're asking about trust. Okay, if you needed to get some information from me, it would make me think that they got to you.
So you don't trust me?
Well, I do until it's something weird. But if you told me you had an alien, I'd be like, oh, all right, dude. Who else would you tell? Like, I would believe that.
But I need your pancake recipe.
Yeah, what if I turned state's evidence and I just needed your pancake recipe? All right, well, let's get into the topic. I mean, you've been on a show a lot before, so we sort of know you're a weird kind of paradigm about what you believe as the WoW scale illuminated. So without further ado, Willie, hit us with that topic.
Tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi, does the CIA know about the end of the world? A classified CIA document, classified by the CIA in 1965. This book explained pole shifts and mentioned world resets. This was later declassified, and a sanitized version, missing over 200 pages, was released. What information can we get from this book? And does the CIA know either that the end of the world is coming or how the end of the world is going to happen tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi?
My first thought before you get into it is there a way to profit off the end of the world, right? So if you knew what the end of the world was and you were kind of unscrupulous, you could benefit from it, right? Like you could but then to what end? Like if you know that the world is going to end,
I mean, where are you going to go when the world ends though? Space?
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. This is another sort of like paradigm where it's like, yeah, paradox? You can make a lot of money. I'm sorry, paradox. You could make a lot of money off of it, but then you're going to die along with us, right?
Unless you can get up there.
And it's weird too, because as a scientist, I feel like now I'm not going to say that your motivations are not going to be fame, because you want to be infamous in the scientific community. But I feel like they may be more driven by being correct than making money off of it.
Who, scientists?
That's kind of like where I have it in my head. If you're writing a book about...
No, I'm with you on the scientists. I'm talking about the fucking like people who work in the government who like they're all con men, right? Like
Oh
no
yeah.
one who works in the government has anything but greed on their
Yeah, they're
mind, I
all
don't
they're
think.
they're all they're all bags of shit.
For a lot of the military people who were selected to work for the government, they got there from having integrity, from being good at what they do, and then they get locked into these secret positions where all of a sudden they have power. And I feel like everybody can be corrupted. If you have a secret that the world doesn't know about, like picture Tricky Dick trying to show Jackie Gleason the aliens under the White House. That's a story out there, but I'm like, oh, it just kind of makes sense for the president to be showing off to an actor that he likes.
Yeah, it makes sense for sure.
It doesn't add credibility to it, but it makes me go like, oh yeah, this.
If you were the president, what actor would you show your alien to?
Matt Damon.
I'd do Benicio del Toro.
That guy's from Spain.
So
I'd do Meryl Streep.
So he's gonna give up all the American secrets.
I'd do Meryl Streep or Harrison Ford, one of those two.
Even now, Harrison Ford. Have you seen the new Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones?
No, but he might invite me to his place in Wyoming. Oh, Willie, you grew up not too far from here. Why don't you show up one weekend and surprise me?
Come on in the plane, Willie. I won't crash it, I promise. I've only crashed 3 of them.
Get off my plane.
I got a bad feeling. Yeah, you get in the plane and he goes, I got a bad feeling about this. And then takes off. And you're like, fuck. Shit. I hate him on multiple levels now. He's going to kill me. And he's also doing fan service.
I can't tell you how many times in my life I've read I've got a bad feeling about this. Every freaking Star Wars novel has that in it. And then every movie.
It's a requirement.
He's the only person that would hang out with the tall Ewok.
This document was written by Chan Thomas, and he was a scientist and all kinds of other things. The CIA classified the document in 1965. Nobody even knew about it, really. And somebody requested it for the Freedom of Information Act in like 97, I believe. I don't know. But then it didn't even, it was declassified in 2013. And so they released a sanitized version, which is their words, that was 57 pages. Now the book was 284 pages. So they released 57 pages, and then it still didn't come out till like 2020. So it took 7 years for it to come out.
This is a book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the book that you see online, that's not the original version either. So there are still things missing. There are things, some of the terminology's changed, whatever. Just saying, if you were reading the book online, it's not the original version either.
That's a lot of money to get the original. I was looking at him on, or I heard a guy talking about it on that one podcast with that weird religious dude.
But it was never fully published, so it may still not be the real version. You know what I mean?
You're just talking about omissions, or you're talking about that they actually changed the content of it?
Because the CIA classified it, and it was never actually published, there is not a real version that you could read and was published.
Okay, well, what does it say? What is it? Because we're talking about, I don't even know what it is.
The gist of the book is pole shifts happen more often, and they happen so quickly that basically the crust turns 90 degrees. Our Earth has a northern and southern magnetic pole, and we spin around that, and our axis is tilted a little bit. So the pole has a north and a south. A marble spinning in free space, if you can also spin and flip on itself. And so the idea is that, and their pole shifts do happen, and the proof of it is when magma cools, it is magnetized. And so they see with layers of lava cooling that sometimes the positive of the magma is to the north and sometimes it's to the south. So with the poles shifting, so does the planet. And so if the planet were spinning around and then it just kind of flipped on itself, it would still maintain the direction it was going, but all of the water would then just go the other direction, like because you would flip upside down and start spinning backwards.
Spinning like this, yeah?
Mhm.
and I'm sorry for our listeners because I'm doing visuals, but like, so then it turns like that. So wouldn't that turn north into south?
Yeah, and that's why when the magma cools, the positive changes in opposite directions.
This hasn't happened in our lifetime for sure.
No, not in our
Or
lifetime.
everything would be fucked, right?
It's more like north into west.
Well, no, but when as far as the magma's cooling, now you're saying north and the west from what he's saying, but when the evidence shows that the north and the south flips on itself, and now the lava has to
it's like
cool
upside
after,
down.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Now what he's saying is that the initial shift turns the crust 90 degrees, but it may straighten itself out so that when the lava cools, it goes back and forth.
So
Like
because
oscillating.
because the planet is like not formed as a solid, there's the crust. What are the layers? There's like
The mantle,
yeah, this is like ninth grade science shit that I totally flushed out of my brain.
Is
But
the
like
crust the ground?
yeah,
the crust is just the ground on top. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
it's
And it's very thin.
It's the candy coating to the M&M.
Okay.
Yes.
So that flips, but because the inside is like magma or whatever, that doesn't flip, or it takes a long time to catch up to the crust. Is that part of it? Or am I making shit up now?
Have you ever spun a top and then it actually flips upside down and it's spinning upside down?
Yeah.
When it does that, it actually
Spinning the same
changes
way.
the rotation. It's spinning the same way, but from looking at it, it spins upside down and flips, right?
Right. No, yeah.
So it's kind of like that. We are spinning bodies of motion that aren't tethered the way we're spinning around the sun. So
Okay,
we can, if we flip, it doesn't affect anything except for, I'm just saying it's easier to flip in space,
right?
Yeah. I'm just saying it's easier for a planet to flip in space than a top to flip upside down because it's not dealing with the same gravity.
Well, so my question is, there's this report. It was top secret, classified, and it's just talking about pole shifts, or is there more to it?
Pole shifts happen very quick, and they've happened multiple times throughout the history of humans. And so what this is saying is that, like, okay, there's 3 major floods in the Bible: the Adam and Eve flood, the Noah flood, and there's another one, whatever. That these may have all been pole shifts, and the flood stories survived because not everybody died.
Because that's what would happen. The water would go the other way, and it's not used to going that way. So towns that were previously unaffected would be affected. Yeah.
Basically the whole earth, all the ocean. Let's say that I like picture the earth spinning, flip it upside down. The water doesn't flip with that, and so the water just all moves in the other. It's like picture the earth just stopping. All the water would then flow over the crust.
Just inertia.
I mean, shaking,
exactly.
like shaking an ant farm, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
He's saying that pole shifts happen very quickly.
Quickly to me doesn't mean anything because I live with hours and days. So how quickly is are we talking like seconds?
It's like 2 hours since you hear the first roar or something.
We've never seen one, and there aren't really any on record that we know of, because a major flood doesn't mean pole shift, but it still could have been one. And so I think the scientifically they say, oh, this process takes time, and we'll have plenty of warning. And this book says no. This
2 hours. Yeah, it's just 2. Yeah,
we were talking about this.
Maui, man. Like Maui just got burned up because they didn't want to like panic people, and then they all burned up.
Yeah, that's all things weird.
There's a big pause because that's kind of what we wanted to talk about as the topic.
Yeah,
for real?
We shouldn't talk about that as a topic, right?
Texted me, I was like Maui, but then we were like, no, we can't talk about it.
Well, it's not. There's no conspiracy. This is the whole thing. We got to cover stuff that's like conspiracies and stuff. That was just
dude. No. The whole thing is conspiracies. It was all burned.
No, but you're talking about conspiracy when it comes to bureaucracy. I understand that, but that's not fun to talk about.
Well, hey, let me just read the first page of this that explains the pole shift.
Please.
with a rumble so low as to be inaudible, growing, throbbing, then fuming into a thundering roar. The earthquake starts only. It's not like any earthquake in recorded history. In California, the mountains shake like ferns in a breeze. The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of seawater more than 2 miles high, then heads its race eastward. With the force of 1,000 armies, the wind attacks, ripping, shredding everything in its supersonic bombardment. The unbelievable mountain of Pacific seawater follows the wind eastward, bearing Los Angeles and San Francisco as if they were but grains of sand. Nothing but nothing stops the relentless, overwhelming onslaught of wind and ocean. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks its hell, its only vengeance everywhere, mercilessly, unceasingly. Every living thing is ripped into shreds while being blown across the countryside, and earthquakes leave no place untouched. In many places, the Earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white, hot liquid fire to add to the Holocaust. Within 3 hours of the fantastic wall of seawater moves across the continent, burying the wind-ravaged land under 2 miles of seething water coast to coast. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone. And the great cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, Boston, are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours before.
So it's an uplifting thing for sure.
To me, it actually is.
There's nothing.
I mean, listen,
you
I'm
can
Team
do.
Thanos and all that shit, but like, that's a little much, right? To just wipe out all the cities.
Why was this document classified? And it also mentioned that we are probably the 6th technologically advanced civilization to live to exist. Saying pole shifts have happened and ancient civilizations did get.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, see, that's cool. Do you think that those 6 civilizations, are they referencing them because they got wiped out by pole shifts, or did they have their own demise?
We don't have any specific information on each civilization from what I could find.
But 6 is a lot, right? And so, like, what even would they be? Like, it's like not recorded history, right? Because we would know.
Every single culture on every continent has a flood story. A lot of these stories were just called myths, and a lot of them also have survivors of the flood being trained and given information by intelligent beings. And so this book also supposes that there's somebody out there who keeps giving all the humanity resets information and technology. Because even our first civilization that had language, the Sumerians, their story is that a flood happened everywhere and they were given all this information. They didn't learn any of this on their own.
Timothy, that's because it's a simulation.
Why would you code a flood? You just reset it.
It's like you ever play SimCity? You ever play SimCity?
Not in a way that I can remember.
Okay, but there's like tornadoes and shit, and they'll wipe your city out. And that's, I think, like the version of a SimCity natural disaster is the pole shift, where they're like, fuck, now we got to start over. Because why would you do a simulation?
Why would you make the simulation a terrible place?
Because it's a game. It's a fucking challenge. You're like, I want to see how far I can get this society.
The simulation could be to learn how to survive things that we know are coming. Because like take this for example. Let's say that we learned from ancient societies that there actually is some huge cataclysm coming. Well, the first thing we're going to do, if we actually knew and had proof that this was coming, is we'd throw it through simulation after simulation. What do we do? What should we do? AI is so smart, put it in all these computers and try to come up with an answer of what to do. So simulation theory to some people is, this is one of those things. This is going to end in cataclysm. Are we going to figure out what to do before it happens?
We won't. We already know we won't. We have hurricanes in LA now. I know that it dissipated and we just got a bunch of rain and shit. But
all bets are off.
As far as I know, there's not a hurricane problem in LA. in recorded history, right?
We
Like,
also had tornadoes this year, which we haven't had in.
so my point is, like, this shit is going crazy, and we're not preparing. We're not solving it. We're not doing anything differently. We're just burying our head in the sand and going like, meh.
We're also not like everyone just going like, oh, it's just climate change. We just have to like buy battery cars instead of going like, wait a minute, what else is happening here? It's not like now we're going to be forced to like figure out our individual footprint of pollution, you know. And it's like,
I mean,
fuck,
fuck
no.
all that. Like, that's such bullshit. It's all on Nestle. Fuck Nestle.
Dude, it's all on corporations. Yeah, Nestle took all the groundwater from so many. Anyways,
I've been bleaching ponds since I was a kid.
You've been bleaching what?
Ponds and lakes.
You're pouring bleach into small bodies of water.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
you mean like a troll or to kill
no.
bacteria?
What do you actually? What do you mean by that? We don't know that.
It's a joke that everybody always talks about how they want to be a superhero. I'm like, I want to be a villain, and as my
Damn it!
villain
God
duties.
damn it! I fucking hate it when I don't understand a joke. This makes me
Yeah,
so mad. I'm so
like,
sorry.
I would be the guy out there like littering on a like superhero scale.
You're the Noid. You're the little Noid going like,
exactly.
Let's see if this changes climate change.
Right? Like if I was
Exactly,
homeless, I wouldn't take a shit in like while hiding. I would shit on nice cars.
Yeah.
You're
exactly.
a psycho.
You got the right
That's a sociopathic thing to do. That's not the fact that you are homeless does not make it some guy with a car's problem. And also, you're shitting on cars that are on the street. These people don't have money. They're parking on the street.
Like, dude, the world needs me to not be homeless.
You need to shit on those cars.
Dude, that's so narcissistic, dude. That's insane.
Yeah.
If I shit on enough cars, they'll give me a home.
Yeah, if you shit on enough Corvettes, that home's gonna have a pool.
Yeah.
What proof do we have that civilization has been reset? Let me preface this with the human mind has basically been the same for 200,000 years. So every time we talk about cavemen and whatnot, for 200,000 years, we've had the same brain.
I understand that. So you're just talking about the mechanism of the brain, like the machinery hasn't changed. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because if you showed a caveman TikTok, they would not know how to process that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, we also.
I was gonna say it's because they're cavemen. They got the squish forehead, like the.
Well, but Willy's saying that their brain works the same as ours. So,
but human, like a version of human of us, I think the caveman version was basically 300,000 years ago, when hominids kind of were standing upright and whatnot. Just saying, like, cavemen already existed, and then 200,000 years of the same capability.
Okay, so cavemen are not on our level. They're different. We're evolved.
No,
they're like Homo erectus or something.
That's what I think.
I think there's going to be a couple of cavemen after every reset until they figure shit out.
If we're talking about floods and fucking destruction, you gotta, right?
When they find places like Cuyo, which I don't remember the number of how many people. It's an underground facility that they found that could hold, I think, 20 to 100,000 people. They would have had to have built this before a cataclysm. So
okay, but hang on. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep interrupting you. What is this now? This is a thing.
The Chinese cave?
No, Cuyo is a place that they've discovered that was underground, that was like a whole society could live under there. It had air vents. It had places for cattle and horses and shit. I'm sorry. You're laughing at a joke. I didn't hear the joke. What did you say?
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing because Timothy said this is the Chinese kids.
No, the Chinese cave. Chinese cave.
Well,
no.
Whatever. It was funny to me. I just want to be devil's advocate really quickly. I don't have any stance on this. Couldn't that just be like, what are we doing? I don't know. We're humans. Fuck it. What if we lived below ground? Let's see how that is. It doesn't mean that they knew that something was happening. They just
no.
We could have a whole underground society for zero reason, right? Only to prove that we could do it. Because that's where we are as a society. It's like, hey, can we go to Mars? Let's try it out. Can we live underground? Maybe.
I'm not supposing that they knew of a specific cataclysm coming. I'm just saying they found this underground place that could hold a shit ton of people. The official story is they were hiding from religious persecution. And I'm like, well, I don't buy that story, but I'm also like, if you were to survive some sort of cataclysm, not necessarily a pole shift, like going underground is your I'm just trying to look at the history that we have of humans. Is there anywhere where you could say, oh, either they survived a cataclysm or
It's a hard question because yes, maybe, but then the second question is, was it built for that, or did they just happen to have it? You know what I mean? Like, did they
I
know
think
that it
other
was happening?
I think other weird, smarter human aliens have to come back and hatch some new humans. I don't think there's anybody surviving.
You don't think
I think
anyone survives?
it sounds too rugged. I just don't know how, because like everything gets obliterated. I feel like somebody's got to come back and hatch new humans.
I don't think everything
specifically
gets
the pole
obliterated.
shift?
Wait,
is-
though, because like if you go to like Mount Everest, you can always get higher ground, right? That the ocean cannot possibly overtake.
Yeah, but that's worse because of the winds.
But picture, wait, here's the thing. Picture the earth is spinning and then it changes direction in such a way that like the inertia of you moving and the earth spinning, you may die from just being smushed into a wall that you're next to. You know what I mean? Like,
do you really think that? Do you think that the what's it, centrifugal force would be that powerful on a fucking thing that's like so much bigger than you that it would like actually like a car crash, like inertia type?
this is why I read that beginning, because he's saying like it's an earthquake doesn't quit, and the winds are thousands of miles per hour because the wind keeps moving in the same direction even though the ground changes directions.
Yeah.
So like 1,000 mile per hour wind may kill you with nothing hitting you.
Or the mile high tsunami.
What's that?
There's a mile high tsunami that goes around the world and drowns everything.
What are you talking about?
In the book, like his description of like 1,000 mile per hour winds,
And then a
1 to
mile
2
high
mile
tsunami.
ocean wave going across the whole planet just till it settles.
But that's theoretical. That's not a thing that's happening.
In
That's
his
the
version
flood.
of the pole shift, that happens.
That's the flood.
Oh, okay. So we're still talking bullshit. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about something that's currently actually happening, Timothy.
No.
We're running up against it. So my whole thing now is this document. Like we've talked a lot about pole shifts and how basically we have no defense for it, right? Like we're fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, why would they censor it?
Well, why would they? Why do they? I mean, knowledge is power. I don't know, because they fucking get off on it. Like there's a lot of reasons why they would censor it, but like what is the most nefarious, most sort of like either spiritual or supernatural? Yeah. What's the worst reason for censoring it? Like why do you think they censored it outside of like money?
The CIA, if they had learned about how pole shifts happen, the last thing you want to do is alert anybody, because what's the point of panicking when you cannot do anything about it?
Yeah, you can't do anything.
The only thing you could do is be in space. And how many people can fit in a spaceship? Not enough to even talk about it.
And then we get into the whole sci-fi movies. Oh, I got a ticket. I can go.
Yeah.
What's that movie where they're like running? They're trying to. Is it a John Cusack movie?
There's one of them, 2012, John Cusack. Yeah, he drives through buildings that are falling.
Yeah.
It's great.
But like to me, I'm like, fuck it. Someone else try that shit. I'll just die here. I don't care. I'm not gonna go to a whole nother planet. Are you kidding me? I'm so lazy. I'm gonna.
Something happens like a mountain in the distance from us, far enough from the three of us. Like it starts happening and we know that in 2 hours the world is gonna end. Wade, what are you gonna do? You got 2 hours.
Okay, so
And
in that
everybody
scenario,
everybody knows.
right? In that scenario, I'm sure that I'm gonna die, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm okay. Fuck, man. I would probably get McDonald's and then like maybe see if anyone wanted to have sex with me.
That's pretty solid. Would you get at
I
McDonald's?
I would just get my regular order. I'd get the number two. They discontinued it, but maybe it's back. It's two
Well, they'll make it
cheeseburgers.
for you. It's the end of the
They
world.
discontinued the number
Do you-
two.
Do you think that the people working at McDonald's are gonna fucking chill and take my order while this is happening?
Totally.
I think anybody with anxiety is going to keep working and be like, okay, well, like I'm just
not if
going
they're
to not
medicated.
think about it.
I don't know. Maybe you may be right. I don't know if I could get a McDonald's burger. I would kind of. I do have like a wish fulfillment thing of like hopping behind the counter and like trying to make it myself. So maybe I would just do
Right.
that.
In the wrestling world, we call them jobbers. It's like, dude, you make the wrestling world work by doing your job.
You get the shit beat out of you, and it's for entertainment.
Willie, what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean,
A great question, by the way.
The sad movie. I always picture my life as a movie, right? And one version.
And you're picturing it
is,
as a sad movie?
well, like I'm gonna try to sing with Moose and try to just make him enjoy his last 2 hours.
I hate this. You're just gonna hole up your apartment. You're gonna hole up in your apartment and just soothe your child. That's the saddest
Just
shit.
give him the best 2 hours.
Oh my god. What would you do, Tim?
Meth. I've never done it, but I feel like meth would be the only way to get through it and live. Like the only way of survival, you come up with the craziest thing ever. Some meth-addled idea, like I'd like hook a hot air balloon to a refrigerator and put me and my wife in there. And we'd probably die, but something like
that's the best. That's the best answer because you're doing two things. One, you're trying new drugs for the first time, which is always fun. It always goes great. And then two, you're like, hey, maybe that would unlock some shit in my brain that I could survive this. That's an amazing answer. I love it.
I feel like it'd be the only good use of meth ever.
I like somebody trying to astral project, like, get out of my body, get out of go to Mars, go to Mars.
Yeah. I'm trying to meditate. Well, the earth shattering.
There's like comets on fire, just like blowing up houses, and you're like, well, I guess I'll.
Can you keep it down?
I'll think about
it. Yeah, the person that's complaining about their neighbors in the last 2 hours, like, why is everyone so loud?
Hey, what's up with those people that complain about their neighbors? Like, don't you know that we all suck? Like, deal with it, man. We all suck.
Yeah.
To actually make the complaint just makes you so much better than everyone else. Who actually makes the complaint?
It's people who are the main characters of their own story who think that, like, oh, because I am hindered, that means the world is hindered.
People that take selfies with tigers.
Or big game kills dead tigers, right?
Yeah. No, tiger. Yeah.
There definitely are places that seem to have come from a different time, right? And I'm not talking Stonehenge, right? Stonehenge, sure, it's astronomically amazing. The stones are hard to lift, but there are places out there that are mind-blowing, right? Like one of the places is Darren Kuyo is an underground city that they found, but the place still exists, and like some of the doors still work where you can just giant fucking rock that moves very easily, and places for livestock. Yeah,
dude, I just want to go there. I just want to go there.
Baalbek, Lebanon.
Yeah.
This place, this thing,
Lebanon, like Middle East.
Yeah, there's this block that's the largest man-made block ever, and
it's like 900 feet.
Like a physical.
Yeah. Well,
we're not talking about like a city block. We're talking about like just a block.
A solid stone, yeah, but cut in perfect square.
Oh,
Kind
okay.
of square. I mean, it's a big rectangle. It looks like it could have been. It looks like it could have been a. Was about to be an obelisk of some sort, or a ground stone. You know what do you
What
call
does that
those?
mean?
The,
It's tall. Like, what are the dimensions on this thing?
see the people under there? It is a man-made block that is so big and so heavy, but cut precisely. I don't know if it was going to be an obelisk, but it looks like that's the main shape of it.
Yeah. What could it have been?
Well, okay, like people always talk about like I always get shit for talking about the pyramid, right? Like, sure, there are blocks that are pretty heavy, but the most impressive ones are the blocks that the pyramids sit on, because those have not shifted for all those years either, with the weight of the pyramid on them. Now we build a building in Vegas, it shifts and we have to like blow it up or raise it up still and add support underneath it. The pyramid is the heaviest structure in the world, and it hasn't sunk. And so that is because it is sitting on, there are foundation stones underneath it that are fucking gigantic, like this.
What do you attribute that to? Like, why? Like, what?
They're mostly buried. These giant things are mostly buried. Like,
But does it have anything to do with polar shifts, or is it just like
they think the flood
different
buried
societies did different things?
they think the flood buried these old cities. Like when we dig, we find stuff like the statues at Easter Island. We can only see the top of the heads, but they go down hundreds of feet.
Right,
And
but
when they got buried, it was from one of these cataclysms.
or they were so old that like erosion happened.
I mean, that's
the
thing,
nano
like
diamonds.
What is this? This is like a bottom of the ninth.
Whenever a asteroid makes it through the atmosphere and hits, there's nano diamonds created, and that's the only time that nano diamonds are created. So at certain sites, I know
Gobekli Tepe,
and that place in South Dakota where all the mammoths.
That's the guy
died.
who acted in The Big Bang Theory, right? Jason Godecki. I'm sorry.
yeah, he was in Roseanne.
So yeah, they're saying that there's nano diamonds that coincide with some of the dates.
I still don't know what that has to do with like pole shifts, though. Nothing, right? That's just a different thing.
Well, they think like an asteroid when we go through the Torrid meteor belt. An asteroid gets through that's big enough to make this happen. At the impact site from the collision of the asteroid with the Earth, nanodiamonds are created, and that's the only way a nanodiamond can be created.
Well, basically what he's saying is that some people think that the pole shifts could be caused from the crust getting so hard that it shifts the crust, and thus makes
so it's
it's a pole shift may be caused by just going
Asteroids.
through this meteor
Belt.
area.
I feel like I'm not a scientist, but I feel like that's a fucking dumb thing, right? Because like you used the spinning a top thing earlier. I don't know that like you could spray enough like whatever onto that top to make it do that.
Well, I mean, and so one idea is that there were people that thought that the accumulation of ice at the poles made it so heavy that the crust would shift towards the equator.
Right, but that seems stupid too, right? Doesn't that seem stupid? That something is so heavy that it would turn the earth?
Well, while it would just be the crust. And so like, yeah, I'm not familiar with especially since we're floating through space, like I don't know how the crust, a lot of ideas brought out there that also correlate to major floods and
so here's my point of view. I think at the end of the day, it's like we as a society have learned a lot of ways that we can be eliminated, right? Like that we can just be wiped out, and a pole shift is one of them. But it's sort of theoretical. It doesn't mean it's ever going to happen because there's no way of predicting it, right? Like, I mean, was that in the thing, the classified document?
The only way that we could predict it based on what we have is looking how this lava has cooled and how often that
But how would that predict anything?
If it's consistent enough to be like, oh, this happens every 300,000 years. But if a
We
shift
live in
happened,
chaos. We live in
Yeah,
chaos. And like there is no 3,000 years, right? Like
yeah.
interesting.
I don't.
It's all interesting. It's very great. We're doomed on multiple levels, and I think that's the point.
It doesn't seem like we're going to predict anything.
Dude, even if we tried to predict shit, it would be this thing where like half the people don't believe it, half the people do. It would have to happen for people to start believing it.
Okay, say there was another civilization, one or two behind us, that got further or as exactly as far as we did. There's got to be some leftover bullshit like plastic or, weird trash, right?
Yeah. Maybe if they got to plastic, maybe they didn't. Maybe they weren't using plastic because like metal
Well,
decomposes
he's saying
a lot
they're
quicker.
further than we did. Like some of them are saying that these places were pretty far advanced.
Sure, but that
the-
doesn't mean that they have like microchips and shit. That could just mean that they know how to fly.
we can't look for evidence of us to find evidence of intelligent life because we're pretty dumb.
Well, so okay, we definitely have to wrap up. So what is that? What is that thing that you were just leading to, which is like as a society, what would you expect us to do? Because this seems cataclysmic. This seems like nothing that we could ever control. So why even think about it?
One of the main reasons why I think this book may have been classified is because it supposes that there's another race of intelligent things that helps us along after each reset. They give us the information to help us start again. If that were real, would that make it classified?
It just seems faith-based. It's like what? So there's like this thing that doesn't exist that's going to save us. It feels like religion.
It's like they're going to sit back and watch us die, but then they're going to give us tools to start again. They let us die.
See, that's where it goes back to the fucking simulation where it's like, dude, you've played a game like that where it's like, I'm a fox. I got to eat berries. Oh shit, I didn't eat enough berries and now I'm dead. But now I know where the berries are.
There were other texts out there that may have brought up some things that were cataclysmic or whatever, but for a book to have this idea that like, hey, there's people that help us start over and there's proof of that, like that to me is where it's like, oh shit, we don't want people thinking about, like, don't try to connect to these things that may or may not be here.
You could look at it like that, or you could look at it like, well, then nothing matters because they're gonna show up and like bail us out anyway.
I think the reason it got censored has nothing to do with cataclysms or science or anything. It was just something that like weirdos were using as a spy cipher to like enough people were using this one book. Is like, when they say like in the movies, like, oh, go to page 13 of a book on line 17. What's the word on mark 15? Like, I think if there was enough spies using this one document for a book or something weird like that, that they censored it, and it really has nothing to do with the end of the world. It was just a tool that people were using for something else.
So now you're introducing like
It's all just
Da Vinci Code, like
exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds, even if you put all of this stuff in there, it sounds like we're doomed regardless.
Yeah, but we're always doomed.
Well, I mean, I would prefer to live for another 5 years if we're doomed. Like, I just don't think. All I'm saying is this book that's been classified has told us how we're doomed. How do you stop the end of the world? Like, we don't have Avengers.
Right.
So what's the point? What's the point of like worrying about it? And I don't want to diminish this topic or anything. I'm just saying like there's nothing I can do. It doesn't seem like there's anything anyone can do.
The way that you put that makes me think in my head, like they may be censoring it to be like, gosh, the last thing we want is for people to like have us figure out how to figure this out. So, it's like you're putting the responsibility.
Yeah, they were just like, put the kibosh on this shit.
Yeah. We don't need any of this info. We're smarter than you. We don't need you people to like weigh in.
I'm okay with the resets. I don't know about the whole mechanism, how much of it I buy into. like this whole pole shift thing. I mean, I do believe that there probably were civilizations before us. It makes sense with all these structures that we researched, like being buried. I think that's a thing. I mean, maybe this guy, I think this guy maybe got 15% of it right, if he did at all. I don't know about necessarily the asteroids or the pole shift or anything like that, but I think he's probably right. I think there were probably civilizations that go back hundreds of thousands of years, resetting over time. I think that's totally plausible, but I don't know about this flood thing. I mean, yes, I think there were some floods. I don't know about floods that took over the whole entire planet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because even if you like read the Bible, it's like, dude, I shouldn't have started down this path because I don't know. But like other people than Noah survived the Bible, right? Like the flood, I mean. Like Noah didn't repopulate the earth. So that means that like other people survived.
He repopulated the animals.
Supposedly
yeah, and good on him, man. Like I love giraffes. That's so funny that giraffes exist. They're so weird.
Listen, I don't want to be a stickler. I just want to Timothy, I just want to say every time you say asteroid, an asteroid is specifically something from the asteroid belt, which lies between Mars and Saturn. Everything else is a meteor. Just saying. Now, asteroids do fall to the Earth, but most of them are meteors.
If you mention an asteroid, you make an ass of me and Troy.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching on Trap Home Video, and thanks for listening on Real Life patreon.com/RealLifeScifi or wherever you get your podcast. Timothy, any plugs?
If you want a ukulele, there's a kit on stumac.com. Send me the kit. I will build the ukulele for you, and then if you pay for shipping, I'll send it to you.
Radical.
Fucking A, man. Yeah. Buy a ukulele. How do you play
I need
ukulele?
Shit to do. I need shit to do. Send me the ukulele kit. I'll make it for you within 2 weeks.
Can I just like before we wrap up, can I ask what's happening with ukuleles? Like why can't I do like bar chords on them?
Oh, because it's tuned differently.
Yeah, so what is that?
But can't you just change the strings around properly?
Yeah, you can move the strings
around. Be a
around.
real ukulele, you know?
Yeah, but I can make you a uguitar with 6 strings.
I don't want
Like a
that. I want to
guitar.
understand ukulele, and I don't understand it because like none of the strings seem to make sense together. So what the fuck is happening with ukuleles? It's crazy.
I like ukuleles because they're smaller and people aren't afraid to play. People are afraid to play everything except the ukulele. That's why the ukulele is the #1 sold instrument in the world.
Are you serious?
Yeah. There's more ukuleles.
The drum is so much easier and so much more accessible.
Nobody has rhythm, man. Only comedians have rhythm, it seems. Every comedian we know is a drummer.
But you could take the most timid person ever and give me a ukulele, they won't be afraid of it.
Timothy Pizza. Send them your ukuleles. How do they find you? Instagram or?
Yeah, Instagram at Sound Became Color.
Sound Became Color is the Instagram.
Yeah, or email me tim.pizza@gmail.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you on patreon.com/RealLifeScifi and stick around because we're going to continue the conversation with Timothy Pizza. Timothy, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you so much. Viewers, thank you so much. We will see you next time. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. We'll see you next time.
Real Life Sci-Fi.